Hey guys, really quickly, before we get into this, I literally just wanted to let you know, at some point, I start mixing up Gina and Jen. Okay, so just read context clues to figure out when I'm talking about Jen and when I'm talking about Gina. Sorry about that. Hope it's not too confusing. Okay, let's get into it. Hey guys, this is your girl Najwa. Welcome back to my channel. So happy you're here. So, I want to talk to you about Real Housewives season 17, episode 5. Guys. Oh my god. Okay. So, and I am not a gang member. I know I'm wearing a blue bandana headband. I got this from my mother-in-law. She is a Portuguese woman. She doesn't know about Crips and Bloods and all that stuff. So don't judge her. Don't judge me. Anyway, guys, I really liked episode 5. I just felt like in general, you guys know we've talked about some of the other episodes here on this channel. Some of the other episodes just kind of rolled along a little bit slow for me. I'd say we're on 5, kind of like at least 2 or 3 of those episodes felt like filler episodes for me. But this episode, I really feel like I got what I needed. You know, I got the sisterhood, I got the laughs, I got a little bit of the drama, you got a little bit of the tea, a little bit of the tears, you know, with Gina, most of the tears are coming from Gina in this episode. And I really love that we finally get to see, like, Shannon and Tamara the way that they should be, okay? Girlfriends. Like, she's the yin to her yang. They're the yin and yang, whatever. So I was really grateful that we got that. I'm going to make this a quick video because really I have nothing but good reviews to say about this. So we come in on the tail end of this glamping trip. You know, we finally wrap up this silly drama between Heather and Taylor. It's like, Taylor, it's okay. Heather, it's okay. Both you guys need to take a chill pill. And then Heather basically confronts Tamara about, you know, how she felt like she kind of wasn't sure what her motivations were. If she was like being low-key shady or what. And Heather basically took the diplomatic approach and was like, I have no reason but to believe her. So, one of my favorite parts of this episode is Heather when she was like, is there a Chanel shovel? And she's looking at the camera like, is there a Chanel shovel? You know, and she's so serious with it. This is why I love Heather. I really feel like, I've said this in my other reviews, I feel like we're getting the good part of Heather. She's got a part that's snobby, a part that's kind of like fun, you know, she can get a little tipsy on the champs, have fun, girlfriend moments. And there also is a part of her nature that's very calming. You know, she brings a level of calm and dignity and sort of just like, everybody be okay, it's gonna be okay, like chill out, you know, I can mediate, we can get to the bottom of this. She's got that like vibe, right? Again, we see classic Shannon and Tamara. You know, Tamara goes in for one of those pecks on the lip with Shannon. They're always like kissing each other, but not in like any kind of gross way, just sort of in like girlfriends who tease around and play with each other and stuff. And Shannon sticks her tongue out, and you know, Tamara runs upstairs, and they sort of like fall all over each other, dressed like cowgirl, like I don't even know what you would call this. They're dressed in those clothes that, like, you know, when you see those old cowboy movies and they're like in a speakeasy, and it also doubles as a friggin' hotel, and it doubles as like a courtesan house. You know, that's what they got. They've got that like 18th century, 19th century like Wild Wild West courtesan vibe going on. And this is the Tamara and Shannon that we love. We even get to see more. I'm loving that, you know. What I find really unfortunate is, like, in Heather Dubrow's old days, you know, one of the times where we really got to see her let loose was that trip where that ATV, that car that Tamara was driving, flipped over. And, you know, Vicky was rushed to the hospital, and there was, like, a lot of, like, traumatic stuff going on. But before all that happened, like, we got to see a really fun part of Heather. And I feel like so much of what, you know, the old seasons when she was on there, when her kids were much younger, like, we got that snobby part of Heather. But I'm really feeling like we're getting much more of the chill side of Heather this time. I don't know if it's because of empty nest syndrome. I'm not sure. You know, Taylor's still not 100% reading the room, but that's okay. And then we kind of come in a little bit into this Jen drama. So basically, Tamara drops this bomb that says that Jen's boyfriend, who it's been alluded at all throughout the season that he's a cheater. you know. And Tamara basically says he walked into their gym, Cut Fitness, back when they owned it, you know, and saw her with her husband, quite literally saw her with her husband and was like, I'm gonna F her, you know. And apparently Tamara never told Jen that, out of the sake of their friendship, which, you know, that's kind of the question, you know, when you know your girlfriend's guy is a scumbag or might possibly be a scumbag, that's that question of like, should I tell her? Should I not tell her? What should I do? You know. So I guess I can kind of get her decision about never bringing it up, but she brings it up at the most inopportune time, which is like in front of all the women at this one point right here where they're together, right? So that's definitely got me questioning Jen's boyfriend. Jen seems like a smart lady, but at the same time, I think that I mean, I definitely dated some really terrible guys before I got married, before I found my amazing husband. You know, like my husband is so attentive and sweet, and even though he has his like stubborn moments, like all men do, like pick up your socks or whatever. You know, he would never ever betray me, like cheat on me. I mean, that's just so insane. And I definitely was with guys before I met him that weren't necessarily cheaters, but just didn't treat me right. And I remember particularly with those guys that I was trying to see something good in them. You know, maybe I had gotten over a heartbreak, or maybe I was with someone who was really good, but like somebody who was on paper really good, but they treated me like crap or whatever. Or, I don't know, you know, but I think it's like the wounded bird syndrome. Sometimes women really just want to help, you know, these troubled men, like wounded birds, and see if they can be the one to turn them around, even if it's like subconscious. And I definitely think that there is this thing. I mean, I can't 100% say this. I'm 31. When I get there, I'll let you know. But I just feel like at between the ages of 40 and 50, it's almost like a revisiting of your 20s in some way. I feel like the same kind of falls or falters that you made in love when you were young in your 20s and you dated guys who were wounded birds and you thought that you could heal the wounded bird. I feel like sometimes you may do that in your 40s, especially if you're like a divorcee or whatever, like Jen is. And so, I don't know. To me, I'm getting vibes of maybe she's trying to be that person to heal that wounded bird. And, you know, I'm not sure. I love that Emily's talking about how Annabelle is like a little rabbit child, little child that needs to be tamed, because she just has so much. She does have a lot of personality. I think she has a lot of personality like Emily, so that doesn't really surprise me. I definitely wish Emily was on this trip, but I do, like I said, I feel like sometimes Emily is Gina's security blanket. So we see Gina sort of all over the place. She's like a big puddle of emotions a little bit on this episode. And I think it's because she doesn't really have Emily there to sort of help her navigate that. And in a way, I guess, sorry for her. She might go back and look at this episode and feel embarrassed that she got so emotional or whatever. But I think in another way, Gina tries to hold it in so tight. She talks about a whole bunch of stuff while talking about nothing. And it's why I've said in other videos, sometimes I'm like, why is Gina here? But I think she does that as a protection mechanism. And we know that she was in an abusive marriage. And that is like a trait of what a lot of people who have been in abusive relationships do. But at the same time, I also think that Gina, compared to some of the other women, even though the other women are messy in their own way, when it comes to love and when it comes to just like some off the hand friendship type things, I think Gina really shows her colors as like one of the youngest people amongst the group, you know? I mean, she's like 10 years younger than some of these women. So I think that's pretty normal. And she's getting all emotional, essentially, about Gina having cheated on her husband. And she's really, really internalizing this. She's taking it really, really personally. I finally figured out Gina's boyfriend's name is Travis, right? I think it's Travis. Again, Travis, her boyfriend, his name is, he's just so quiet. I don't know. But Heather basically tells Gina, like, I think that you're talking about your infidelity a little bit, the infidelity that your ex-husband did towards you, maybe a little bit too much with your new boyfriend. Maybe you're putting that on him, and it's a burden that he wasn't necessarily meant to carry. And maybe, because Gina feels some certain type of a way about that. And I think maybe, as I said before, people sometimes try to tiptoe around their words so much that they might end up having the opposite effect of what they want to have. And I feel like Heather should have been more like, you need to leave that in the past. That man, he stepped all over your heart, girl. It's time for this to be your like pink what's one more of those like female anthem type people? Destiny's Child. This needs to be like your Destiny Child pink type moment. Like, this is your moment. Leave that in the past. But instead of saying that, she's like, oh, maybe you should stop talking about your bad ex with your new guy, etc., etc. And Gina feels some certain type of way about that. Gina also really internalizes Gina, you know, and her infidelity. And Gina's really also confused. It's like, hey, this, I don't understand. And it just is like one of those major instances of projection. Like, I just feel like, again, Gina's, she kind of hides behind all of this loud talk and, you know, cracking jokes and being silly and stuff. But I think that we have a really sweet, sensitive soul behind that. And I think it's okay for her to show this to us sometimes, but I feel like she also needs to put out what she kind of sometimes puts as a facade, that she's so put together and strong. It's like, believe in yourself, girl. Believe in yourself. It's okay. You know, more of hanging around this ranch type place, and you know, we're getting to know more about the new girl. We're getting to know more about Gina. Taylor is just, I love seeing Taylor be so happy and blooming. Yeah. I pretty much think I covered all of the drama in this episode. Right? I mean, and Shannon and Tamara, they finally basically make up. They finally make up. But, you know, who knows? Maybe we'll see more of the kind of drama that they had before. Maybe it's going to be a continuous thing that they need to work on. But I think what my hypothesis was right. I feel like in some way Tamara thought that Shannon had rejected her, and so it was like a self-fulfilled prophecy. She rejected Shannon because she felt rejected, and so they basically kiss and make up, and I think it's good. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I really like this episode. I really like seeing Shannon and Tamara back together. I love seeing Heather just, you know, crack open a little bit, let it go, let loose, be easy, chill out, have fun. Gina, I think that she needs to be a little bit more resilient, kind of reflect what she tries to reflect out to the world, and be a little bit more in her girl power game. Gina's now a wild card for me. Like, I'm sorry. Gina. Jen. Oh my god, I've been saying Gina and I've been meaning Jen in some of this. I'll try to put up in like a caption or something, but I'll probably forget to do that. Anyway, you guys probably know when I'm talking about Gina and when I'm talking about Jen. But I feel like Gina is, I'm learning more about her, and now Jen, sorry, I totally botched that. Now Jen is kind of more like a question mark to me. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think. Put it down in the comments. If you're new to this channel, go ahead, hit the like and subscribe button. Hit that bell so you know whenever I post a video, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Bye.